How are we doing, Red? Sam from United People's TV. Here to have a chat with you after that shower of shit at White Hart Lane. Now, the bus was late at the start, so we had a half an hour delay to kick off, and it sort of delayed what was probably considered an inevitability before the kickoff, only in the fact that Spurs have been very, very hard to beat at White Hart Lane this season. It started off quite well. Thought we were fantastic in the first 15 minutes, impressing Spurs, and that's usually what they've been doing this season. We had them pinned back in their own half. Typical United, couldn't do anything from it. Then it all went to shit. And it all happened after Timothy Fosu-Mensah, 18-year-old, starting his second game for United, came off at right back. Spurs scored 3 goals in, 5 minutes? First goal, good goal, but it shouldn't have happened. It was a bit of a calamity, and I don't know what was going on. And all of a sudden, Eriksen was free, and where was Darmian? I have no idea where he was. Crossed it in, Delle Alli finished. Second goal, Alderweireld, got on the end of a cross. Rojo couldn't be asked to jump. Third goal, United were down and out by that point, but Lamela cleaned it up and made it 3-0. I mean, where do you start from that? To collapse. It almost looked like we were relying on an 18-year-old right-back who was holding us together like cement. And as soon as he went off with an injury, United just collapsed like a digestive in a cup of tea. It was truly embarrassing. That 5-10 minutes, there was absolute lack of character there. You go 1-0 down, you got to make sure you hold it for the next 5 minutes, keep possession, don't let the game go away from you. No, we just concede 2 more. Rio Ferdinand tweeting after the game, just saying, wow. That sums it up. Wow. That was awful from United. And it was mad from Louis van Gaal. We've seen it from him so many times this season. But what the fuck was he doing with our attackers in that game? He had Ashley Young that he brought on up front for Marcus Rashford, which I thought was a bit strange in itself when Jesse Lingard and Juan Mata were both playing so poorly. Even Marcus Rojo, he could have come on at left back. But he brought Young on for Rashford. And then he played Young up front when his favourite position is left wing. He played Martial on the left wing when his favourite position is up front. He played Lingard at number 10 when his best position is right wing. And he played Mata at number 10 when he played Mata at right wing when his best position is number 10. It's even kind of hard to say because it's pure fucking madness. And it's a case of the only positive we can come out of that game now is the fact that we're 1 game closer to the end of the season because it was just utter spineless. You even had Morgan Schneiderlin taking corners at one point. Spurs were there for the taking. Up until the point where Fosu-Mensah went off, Spurs were finding it very hard to get a foothold in the game. We had good pressure on them. We were keeping them pinned in their half for quite a lot of it, but we just couldn't take it. You had Martial making so many good runs down the left, but he didn't have Rojo overlapping. So he always had 2 defenders and he could never get past it. When he did it once, it was a poor shot. Went straight at Hugo Lloris. Could have gone anywhere and it would have gone in. But that was trash from United. Absolute fucking trash. And we've seen it time and time again this season. And we've seen it before and nothing's happened. This close to the end of the year, it's only going to happen as soon as Man U are mathematically out of the top 4 race. And that's going to put a massive dent in it because City play Chelsea next weekend. We play Aston Villa. We're behind City. We need them to drop points and we need to pick up points. And today was a great opportunity because West Ham and Arsenal drew, would have got 2 points on both of them, would have opened up the top 4. Instead, we've let Spurs race on. They've kept their title hopes alive. Fair fucks to them. After they held it for that, 60-minute period, and they just blew us away with 10 minutes. And it was just, I'm fucking embarrassed how much we crumbled after Fosu-Mensah went off. That's the worst part of it. There was no characters in that team grabbing it by the skin of its teeth, grabbing it by the scruff of its neck and say, you know what, fucking dig your heels in. That's when you're missing a player like Rooney. I've been Rooney's biggest critic, but we needed players like him at that particular moment in time. But we didn't. We had I don't know what Matteo Darmian was doing, but he was out of position for basically all the goals. I kind of left scratching my head after that game. After that result, United have done this time and time again this season, but you think, that was a good result against City, a good result against Everton, albeit not the best performances in either game, but we still got results out of it. Today, we could have got a result easily. Spurs were not playing that well, and it was at White Hart Lane. I thought the pitch was very small. They were pressing hard, but we were doing even better. We were winning that ball really high up, but nobody fucking took advantage. And Spurs did. As soon as Fosu-Mensah went off, that space opened up, calamity in the middle. All of a sudden, Eriksen's free. They bury it. And the game goes away from us, just slips through our hands within the space of 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, let me know what you think about that game. But to see United do that against Spurs, we hadn't lost to White Hart Lane since 2001 in the league, because we've always had Spurs' number. They had our number today. They sat there, they waited for their opportunity, and when they got it, they took it. Now, we didn't even have that many opportunities because it's been typical United this season, is quite good up until the edge of the box and then very stagnant. No one's really doing enough runs. No one's doing the right passes. The penetration just isn't there in the final third. I think Fosu Mensah by far and away was our best player in that game. And this is an 18-year-old making his second start for United. I want to say a quick bit about him because at under 18s, under 19s, under 21s level, he stood above. You could see he was better than those players. And now he's settled in and he looks absolutely, consummately, professionally ready for first-team football. And he's probably going to be out the West Ham game now. And we saw what Andy Carroll did to Arsenal. So you know that they're going to probably come with a physical game and come straight at us. But for United to have done that, to have capitulated in that style, it's just fucking embarrassing. There is no other way to describe that performance. I don't really know what else to say now because we've seen it on so many occasions this season, but we've seen the mad substitutions from Van Gaal, the crazy tactics. But I'm not sure we've seen United really accept a defeat as much as they accepted it in that game there. As soon as we went 1-0 down, the heads dropped. And Spurs just pummeled us with 5 minutes of pressure. That's not United. What we've seen this season is not United. But that, specifically, just giving up, that's not United. And I don't know what it's going to take, whether it's the fact that we're going to have to be out of the top 4 race before Van Gaal gets the sack. But there's no fucking way he should be in charge of this team next year. Whether you think it's going to be Jose Mourinho, Ryan Giggs, or somebody else entirely, that's irrelevant. I just know one thing. It cannot be Louis Van Gaal. Let me know your comments below, as always. And subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. We'll see you soon. We'll have a final word on the game tomorrow, as always. So take it easy, Reds.